Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast is Never Give Up on a Good Thing. Remember what makes you happy. And for those of you who remember, this is from a song by George Benson. And the song is more about a romance. But if you think about it, a lot of things that we do in life, we have that kind of relationship with, a love relationship, a passion, something so deep that really fuels you to get up every morning. And the reason I want to talk about this with you today is that on September 17th, my new audiobook comes out called Maybe Everything is Okay, A Parent's Guide to Less Stress and Worry. It's going to be an audio exclusive released by Tantor Audio. And for me, this is a dream come true. But what many people don't know is I wrote this book 8 or 9 years ago. It occurred to me after I wrote The Gift of Maybe that one of the most challenging places to deal with the unknown, to deal with uncertainty, has to do with parenting. Like the Buddha said, all attachment leads to suffering, and all of us are attached to our children. We need them to be okay. So on some level, as a parent, we will suffer. But there's a piece of that suffering that has nothing to do with attachment. It has to do with our fear of the unknown. We worry that if today things are not working out, if our child's having problems in school, if they're being bullied, if they have a disability, if they're not well, we often can't imagine things changing or things getting better. And we forget that the unknown is filled with potential and beneficial things. So yes, life has the maybe not, but there's another side. Maybe things can change, maybe they can get better, maybe we could accept it and still be okay. And often maybe there's just something in this moment left to experience. So I'm really excited about the book, and I know that it will help so many parents live with less stress and worry, and also will give them an opportunity to teach it to their children. This beautiful mindset of maybe, so simple but so profound. But the reason I bring this up today is because I did write it 8 or 9 years ago. Of course, I've revised it a bit over the years. And the minute I wrote it, I sent it to my book agent for The Gift of Maybe. Her name is Linda Chester. She has since passed away, really wonderful woman. And she tried to send the book out to many different publishers, and it got rejected. A lot of publishers kept saying that the parenting arena is very difficult, very competitive. And it was the last time I dealt with Linda Chester. I don't want to say for sure that the book is the reason why we stopped working together, but I'm sure my book not selling had a lot to do with it. So over the years, I tried to get another agent for this book. Now remember, we're talking about 8, 9 years. Nobody wanted to pick it up. Again, they talked about competition in parenting. Cannot tell you how many rejections I get. I couldn't find an agent. Nobody wanted to publish it. And then another one of my books came out, A Year Without Men. And again, I landed a wonderful agent for that book. We sold it to Skyhorse Publishing, but still nobody wanted my parenting book. And my agent did not want to represent it. And then the audiobook for The Gift of Maybe came out last year. And I had the pleasure of meeting Tantor Audio, which is one of the top audiobook companies in the country. And I spoke to my publicist and I said, let's ask them if they want the book. Maybe everything is okay. And after 8 years of rejection, they made me an offer on the audiobook. After all this time, it is coming out with so much support from the audio company, from everyone that listens to my work, to other people in the industry. It is really an amazing moment. And I'm just coming off a TEDx talk about maybe. I could never imagined this moment and how wonderful it would be. And the reason I'm bringing this up to you today is to inspire you to hold on to your dreams and your passions. I know what it is like when you have an idea and no one's listening. You have an idea and it's rejected. But we all have to remember, just because it's being rejected and just because people don't understand it, it doesn't mean that it's not wonderful. It doesn't mean that it's not fabulous. And it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen one day. Too often we give up too quickly. And I know in my situation, it's a very long time to hold something. But in this moment, it was worth it. And what I did is I stayed in maybe. And that's why I talk about the idea of maybe all the time. Often our relationship with uncertainty is why we don't hold on to our goals, why we don't continue. And I get it. Sometimes financially it's tough. Sometimes the rejections get to us. Sometimes no one understands. Sometimes it feels like it's impossible. But let the unknown future remind you that uncertainty is filled with potential. And sometimes the only thing we have is this belief and this passion for a project or for a business or for a relationship, and it takes time, but maybe will sustain you. It has sustained me. Every time I was rejected, did I have a feeling about it? Sure. But I said to myself, maybe this is still possible. Maybe I will find my way. And I kept sending it out again and again and again. So whatever you're doing today, don't give up the hope. Never give up on a good thing. Remember what makes you happy. If you stay with it, and if you look at all the greatest successes in business and people who have achieved great things in life, they will tell you the same thing. Don't make uncertainty your enemy. Make it your friend. And don't look for evidence in the outside world that your passions or your dreams are real. Yes, we need to find a way to manifest it in the outside world. But the value and the validity of the dream itself, that only matters if it resonates with your heart. And again, I know we talk about the maybe mindset all the time, but most of the fears we have are about the future. Most of the time we give up because we can't see the path, but the path reveals itself over time. And what we need to do is perfect the passion, perfect the dream, work on it, and give it our all. And when the fears come up, this will never happen. I'll never find my way. This business is silly. My dreams aren't real. No one's ever going to publish this book. You ask yourself, are you absolutely certain? And the beauty of uncertainty is you can't know for sure what will happen next. And you can't be sure of your fears, your negativity, and you can't be sure that your dreams won't come true. And then you start doing the maybe statements. Maybe I could still make this happen. You could do specific statements. Maybe I need to call this one or that one. Maybe I need to give it more time. Just stay with it. And sometimes businesses fail and things don't work out. But I don't know about you, but I would rather have tried. I would rather have lived a life of passion. I would rather know that I pursued it, even if it doesn't work out. And I often find that that's not even a complete story, because every experience we have is part of our life's journey. We learn things, we meet people, other opportunities unfold. I've never had a situation that was a complete failure, because there was always so much more to it. And with maybe also sometimes we need to go left or go right or think of something else or use what we learned to start something new. It never really ends until our last breath. We actually have the potential to keep pursuing the things that we love in our life. And pursuing it in itself is a victory. So today, try to get connected to your goals and your passions and the things that you really want to do in your life and what gives you meaning. Don't value it from the outside, value it from the inside. And after you do that, after you get clarity, start to make a plan to make it happen. And you might not have all the answers today. One of the reasons people do not pursue their goals or their passions is, again, because they can't see the total path forward, but we're not supposed to. If somebody would have come to me and said when I was writing the book, it's going to take 9 years to get it published, maybe I wouldn't have written it. But I went from a place of passion and I figured the rest out as I went along. And sometimes that is how it works. And again, no, uncertainty is your best friend. If you want your life to change, it has to happen in the unknown. What you seek is seeking you. You are not crazy. What you want for your life is real. And if you stick with the maybe, you will have the strength and the resilience to carry on and one day achieve these goals and these passions. Why not you? If it could happen to me, it could happen to you. You got this. Because for all you know, maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my books, The Gift of Maybe, A Year Without Men, or my new audiobook, Maybe Everything's Okay, they're available wherever books are sold and also all major online platforms. If you're interested in my Maybe cards or my digital Maybe journal, they're available on Amazon, Etsy, and my Stand Store. And most of all, if you like this podcast, I hope you subscribe and leave a comment.